welcome to Club Farrington. We're here at Arizona State University with head coach Megan Bartlett, entering her 4th season. Thank you, Coach, once again for letting us come here to this beautiful location and do the podcast.
Thank you for being here.
Yep.
Our yearly date.
Yep.
Appreciate you, Javier.
Yep, excited. The way we have it set up today, I'm going to ask her two introduction questions, kind of recap the season, and then talk about a big change here just before season opener. And then I like the hitting for the cycle we did. And then you get to pick the single, or the double, or the triple, and the bomb, and we'll get you done in time for practice.
Perfect.
So thank you. I wanted to recap the 2025 season. I started thinking about it. You guys went 17-7 during that stretch, I say the first part of the season is really a big extended homestand. I mean, you
for us it is.
You stayed in Phoenix for. That's the 24 games of your season last year. And then I look back the year before, and you won 3 more games that homestand, that big, large homestand. I know you played Grand Canyon there, but you're here in Phoenix. You didn't have to travel too far.
Yeah.
You only traveled, I think, that one time. And you won 3 more games in the year before. And that was an intense schedule. You played 2 teams during that stretch that went to the World Series.
Yes.
One of them only had 8 regular season losses, and you handed 1 to Oregon. Only had 8 during the whole regular season. I think they were like 50,
tremendous.
54-10 or 56-10,
mm-hmm.
And they went to the World Series. And then Florida went to the World Series, and then you played a MAC champion, conference champion. You played the WAC conference champion. So that was an intense schedule, and to be on the positive side of that, 3 more wins than the year before is great. Mm-hmm. But then I think the magic happened when you started traveling, started playing conference games and midweek games. You went 18-12. I think it was, like I wrote down, I think it was 13 more games than the year before. I mean, you guys started the season swinging literally. Tanya Wendell, first at bat. What was your thought?
She hit a home run. Yeah.
She hit a home run. Her first at bat, first season, first hit. And what I wanted to ask you about that. That's a significant improvement from the year 2 to year 3.
Yeah.
What came together to really have a breakout season in your 3rd season at the helm, Coach?
Well, holistically, we got healthy. I mean, year 2, we were certainly the most injured team in the country. It was almost unbelievable at one point. So that certainly played a big piece in it, right? Getting Mackenzie back, she obviously had really a breakout year. I first saw that kid when she was 14 years old pitching at a Ball State camp back in the day. And the first time I saw her pitch, I told that kid she was going to be an All-American and be special. And those are certainly not words that I throw around. Mm-hmm. It was just you get a little bit of a spidey sense. So to watch the story come full circle, at Arizona State was pretty incredible. But Ken's was certainly a big part of that. Mika had a great year on the mound. I mean, just jumped by leaps and bounds from her freshman year to her sophomore year. And then, of course, that very talented freshman class a year ago, which would have truly been our first kind of on-track high school recruiting class here at ASU.
Yeah. I'm going to ask about them in our little hit for the cycle.
They're tremendous.
But they're tremendous. They produced some big numbers for you. And you said you get the spidey sense with Kenzie being you said when she was younger, you're going to be an All-American someday. Well, it's because you were an All-American, so you were. So you have to, when you see another talented player that has it, that if they follow the steps and they work hard, most likely that happens. And you're a truth sayer now too.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't know. She has certainly earned every bit of that. A very smart coach told me one time, nobody builds an All-American. They come wired like that. In this day and age, you might buy them like that, right, with the transfer portal and all the things. But yeah, she has always been a competitor, just tough, and an exceptional work ethic. And for as long and loose and athletic and kind of whippy that arm action was, I was like, ooh, we have something here. But Kenzie has just certainly been our leader by example, our role model. I mean, she's the kid. She's been here every summer since we've had her. And she's lifting and she's running and she's eating and she's putting on good muscle and just really, really intentional, with her recovery and her sleep. And it has just been all about chasing greatness since she's been here. And her team certainly respects that and's gravitated and rallied around it. And she's earned every bit of that.
That's awesome. How awesome was it for you to have thrown out the first pitch a couple years ago at the Diamondback Stadium, and then this past season No, just recently, Kenzie got to throw out the first pitch. Tell me about what was going through your mind. How cool was it that your team was there?
It was amazing. I was more nervous for her than I was for me. She was going underhand, and I was like, ooh, I don't know how this is going to go. One of the marketers came over right before she went, and they were like, Coach, how hard does she throw? And I'm like, I don't know. She can run a softball up to 70. I'm not really sure how that's going to work with a baseball. And he's like, can she maybe like lob it in? And I was like, no, that's not what she does.
Yeah.
You know? So she's like, it's fine. I'm just going to snap off a fastball. Well, if you know Mackenzie, you know that fastball could do one of three things, like this, like this, like this. And she kind of ended up throwing him a little bit of a slider. So thankfully it was one of the middle infielders catching her first pitch, and he kind of ducked this way
good.
And we caught it, and all was well.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty cool moment.
That's good. That's awesome. Yeah, I was there. It was exciting. I loved it.
It was fun.
All right, and then the next question, intro question to the show here is, change is one thing that's definitely constant in this game.
Oh goodness, anymore.
Yep. And your All-American pitcher, speaking of, Kenzie Brown, has very recently been reunited with Coach Bartlett. Yep. Who, for our viewers, Coach, he originally recruited KB to go to Tulsa. And then by the time she got to Tulsa, he was no longer there. But how has that transition been in the bullpen? I see they're working right now with the familiarity, with the relationship KB has with Coach. How's that been?
Yeah, I mean, John is certainly a tremendous coach and has probably forgotten more about softball than most people ever knew. But just a wonderful man. Like, he is very calm, he is very smart, he's very present, and just really easy to get along with and work with. And certainly has a tremendous amount of experience at the College World Series. He was a head coach for a long time, so it's actually really nice that I'm running around doing XYZ and he's like, okay, how can I help? Hand this off to me, right? Because he lived that world for so long. But yeah, now with his breadth of international experience with Team USA, I mean, those are four really lucky pitchers.
Yeah.
We're just so grateful he chose to be a Sun Devil and that he's here, and I learn from him all the time. So
good. And then the second part of that is, how do you see that tremendous experience you just talked about from Coach Bartlett paying off down the home stretch of the season? Setting up what I think, and I think most fans are hoping, is an amazing NCAA tournament run.
Us too. Yeah. Well, if anybody in the country can get those four moving in the right direction, it's going to be him. I mean, certainly those years that he was at Oklahoma State and I was at Texas, we played each other what felt like 100 times in 2 years between the conference schedule, and then I think we ended up in a super regional there at the end of my first year there, on to the World Series the next year, where we played each other multiple times. So we're always staring at each other across a diamond. But yeah, it's his just knowledge and experience is tremendous, and he'll get them right.
Good.
We're pretty excited.
Yep.
Yeah, we're certainly thrilled he's in the dugout with us.
Yep. And season's about to kick off here in a week and a half.
Weeks, yeah.
So I'm super excited. We're going to take a short break. Javier with AZ in the Circles podcast. We'll be right back to Hit with the Cycle with Coach Bartlett. Home Repairs and Remodeling is proud to sponsor Season 3 of AZ in the Circles podcast. They love the game of softball. Home Repairs and Remodeling has been in business for 20 years, established in 2005. Now, for homeowners looking to remodel their kitchen, who have a vision of this functional, beautiful place to make homemade meals for their loved ones and entertain family and friends, call Home Repairs and Remodeling today at 602-686-8354 or visit their website, homerepairsandremodeling.com. Also, Home Repairs and Remodeling provides a solution to the affordability issue in the Valley by building ADUs, auxiliary dwelling units. Basically, a second living space situated on the same lot as a primary residence. Think garage conversion to a casita, or a mother-in-law suite, or a rental income unit, or a guest house. Again, call Home Repairs and Remodeling today. Home Repairs and Remodeling, your vision, our know-how. And we are back. Thank you, Home Repairs and Remodeling, for sponsoring softball here in the 48th state. Okay, we're going to hit for the cycle, Coach. I know you've probably done it in your career once or twice. Being an All-American up there in that school from South Bend, the Irish. Hitting for the cycle, we will have Coach Bartlett decide. You want to do it? Start off the triple, the bomb, the single, the double. What do you want?
Traditional girl. Let's start with the single.
The single. All right, here we go. Being an All-American player yourself for the Irish, which drills offensively and defensively connect with you most as a former player? I mean, because you play the drills that make players better. What are the drills that you're able to picture yourself like, yeah, I can see myself doing that. Oh yeah, that helped. That's the meat and potatoes of softball.
So for me, I was a high contact lefty that could run. Like certainly gap to gap power, I could get the ball out once in a while, but I was not your traditional power hitter. So anything that was challenging and testing my hand-eye coordination, I loved, because that was tough, right? And I think it's important when kids are getting into a habit with, hitting routines, double down on what your strength is. There's nothing that drives me more crazy than, actually we had one do it last summer that Bloom was very clear with them, like, don't go into the cage all summer and just work on your weakness. That's not going to do anybody any good. Like, realistically, 99% of players, you're going to have some sort of weakness in a swing. You're going to give up something to get something else in return, right? So double down on what you're really good at. And so if you're a high contact kid with great hand-eye, do things that are going to test that. Don't try and build a swing to see how far you can hit the ball. That's not your gift. Double down on the gift. Anything that's testing timing, because timing is everything, especially in baseball and softball. I love 3-plate, 5-plate drill. You want to get really fancy, set movement on the machine, and set multiple plates
That's
up,
when you
and
keep
then you have
moving
to
up.
every single plate. You got to move.
Yeah.
And then if you really want to get crazy, do something that has movement, but then also randomize the plates, right? Like, don't just always move in order. And you will figure out really quickly how to adjust your own timing mechanism.
From pitch to pitch.
Yeah, and you'll watch it just because there isn't a coach that needs to give you a correction every single swing, right? The game's too complex, the swing's too complex for that. But you really, I think, learn to kind of self-coach a little bit, and it's going to help body awareness and hand-eye coordination, certainly. So
yeah,
I love those.
Because you think about it, during the game, the great hitters make adjustments pitch to pitch, and then you got to imagine
sometimes mid-pitch.
Mid-pitch, yeah. You and Decker
speed, yeah.
and Bloomer, you've already seen so much film on the opponent's pitcher. The hitter's already seen so much film.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. Mid-pitch adjustment. You're right. Something off the hand. Something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's so exciting. Okay, great. It's a great answer. What about what you want to do next? Double?
Double.
Said you want to do the traditional. Okay. She goes up there, hits a double. You're a lefty. Let's make it an oppo double.
Okay.
Left center
I like
gap,
it.
oppo double. Okay, good. Offensively, what are the habits that the Sun Devils are working on to improve on the 302 team average? 437 hits you had. I'm talking about last season. 437 hits, 50 bombs, 248 RBIs, 371 on base percentage. What are some of those habits that you guys are doing to exceed that this year?
Yeah, Josh Bloomer is so tremendous at what he does, truly. But I will tell you, he is so detailed, structured, and holds such a high standard about their process, right? Zone control, are we engaging at strikes, are we watching balls, which sounds really, really simple, right? Until you've got an E-hack randomizing 3 pitches at 70 coming at you, and you're really having to dial in kind of on that first 10, 15 feet, and do you think this pitch is actually going to move through the zone and tunnel through the zone? And so he certainly spends a ton of time there. We have got some really talented hitters and have some older veterans, which probably a lot of what we were missing a year ago is we were so young on the field. Their bodies weren't ready to withstand almost a 60-game season, right? Like, by the time we got to regionals, a lot of those young ones, I feel like they were like swinging their little butts off and the ball wasn't going anywhere. Like, it's a really big difference between being a 21, 22-year-old grown woman, right? And an 18-year-old who's not quite as physically developed, kind of going through that marathon that season. So certainly the influx of a lot of the veteran hitters is going to help that a ton. But really, we're a motor preference school, so he is just going to, once we know what their profile is and how their body wants to move,
Kind of custom.
that's exactly how we build their swing. There's no cookie cutter here. And that's a big piece of what we do. So understanding how to hunt, also important. Like, at this level, you go try and swing at 4 quadrants and you're just going to chase anything coming at you against All-American pitchers, you're not going to have success that night. So zone control, understanding how to hunt, working with good direction. Is the barrel getting to the front? Are we releasing barrel while after we've been in the zone long enough? Certainly it can be as complex as you want to make it, but at the end of the day, they need to get out there and problem solve with the bat, and they need to compete. We are both certainly big believers in having kids with, a ton of barrel control. This team is very powerful, vastly more powerful than we were a year ago. So we actually spend a lot of time on making sure they are properly prepared for at-bats. And again, they can make pitch-to-pitch adjustments, and we don't have to scream that at them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
But it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. Good. Second part of that question, your freshman last year. We've been talking about them for this is our third interview. Two years ago, our first interview, we talked about them coming in, and then last year they were about to start, and then they had an incredible year. They contributed heavily. They hit over 50% of all the bombs for you. Obviously, the goal is to win a ton of games. The goal is to win the Big 12 conference championship, win the regionals, win the super regionals, go to the World Series, and win it all. Are there metrics that you see that move the needle the most towards making those goals happen?
Hard hit balls.
Hard hit balls.
Hard hit balls. Every live at bat they take on that field, Coach Bloom is going to track in a spreadsheet, and it's not did you get a hit or not. It's zone control, how hard did you hit the ball when you hit it? Was it a quality at bat? Did you execute the task? So again, once we kind of get into the season, we're going to run a lot of OPS and things like that, right? Don't really pay attention to batting average, but how they see numbers on a weekly basis is it's task oriented. And when you hit the ball, how hard did you hit it? Because if you have a bunch of kids out here, every ball that's coming off the bat is 70 plus, we're going to have a lot of success, whether or not the ball leaves the yard.
Good things happen when you hit the ball hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to control it.
We're trying to hit line drive. Certainly Tempe is a great place to be as a hitter, right? And the ball is going to fly in Arizona. Yeah. But we do not ever talk to them about lifting the ball.
And speaking of Tempe, Club Farrington, it's an amazing place to play.
It is.
It's one of the most beautiful parks, I think, in the country.
Agreed.
You think about it, at night, you got those palm trees lit up, those bombs go into the night over the palm trees. During the day, you can hit it into a beach volleyball court, right?
You can,
The sand over there.
Yeah.
So it's a fun place.
It is. Crowd's rocking. We have some of the most loyal, lovely fans in the country. And we're going to start actually this first week with a sellout. So yes. I'm excited. Let's get Club Farrington rocking, get people in the seats and want to come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have some exciting ball.
Yep. And then I had another part to that, double, because doubles, they're pretty hard. Team chemistry, right? I think about it, from a coach's perspective, and I think, man, in the age of the transfer portal, how do you speed up team chemistry? Because you don't always have 4 years for those freshmen to now become seniors and they're well bonded, and you want them in the end, team chemistry, the purpose, I believe, is you want them to play for each other, sacrifice for each other, and in your own words, you want them to bleed for each other. How do you do that in this age of the transfer portal?
Well, certainly setting expectations, that is genuinely important to us around here. Inviting kids into the mix with a high level of emotional intelligence, also really important to us, and something we do our best to vet kind of in the recruiting process. Because if you have a lot of maturity in the clubhouse, those things are going to happen, I think, a little bit faster in a more productive and positive way. A lot of authenticity around here. I don't know. It's a pretty tight-knit group. It's something we put a heavy emphasis on. They know the expectation is that they're going to be dogs on the field, and they're going to compete with each other, compete with the other team. They're going to scrap, but when they step in that clubhouse, it is grace, and it is patience, and it's sisterhood, and it's laughter, and those are truly the expectations around here. And kids that either don't care about that or can't quite figure out how to fit that mold, they don't stay.
Yeah. You got great leaders. I mean, if I think about it, I'm not in the clubhouse hanging out with them, but it seemed like Wendell, Swan,
yes.
KB, are all awesome to hang out with.
They're very warm, they're very welcoming, and that has certainly helped. Certainly there's been a lot of kids coming to the program in the last 3 years, but the people that were already in place certainly welcomed them in, welcomed in who they were as people and the talent, and they wanted to win. So when you have veterans that are that warm and welcoming and just really want to see the program succeed more than they want to see themselves succeed, it has certainly sped up that process a ton, but it is a challenge. And I think truly everybody's going through it right now, right? With just how transient this generation is from program to program to program. And you've probably seen the same thing in travel ball, right? But you just do your best to create expectation and create follow through on those expectations. And the kids continue to rise to the challenge. Like, we have a wonderful clubhouse and culture here. You can see it in the dugout. Those kids are going crazy for each other. They love each other. And it's not just singing and cheering. Like, it's business, and we're getting work done in there. But again, like, genuinely caring and like wanting the next person up to succeed.
It's a big deal. I think that's the word.
Yeah.
Living joyfully through the other people's successes. I think I did that right.
Yeah. I think so.
No, I love that. Okay, let's go for the triple. Okay. You're gonna go down the third base line or down the right field line?
From right field line. I can turn on the ball.
And you got your speed. Okay, perfect. All right, triple. Defense wins championships. I believe that. Continuity definitely plays an important part in playing great defense. If you have in football, if you have a new defensive coordinator every year, it's very tough to establish continuity.
Yes.
But in your case, Coach Decker is going into the third season with you, and the team keeps improving every year defensively. What is it about Coach Decker's that gets the defense to buy in and ball out?
Ooh, Haley Decker is phenomenally talented. Her game IQ and her wealth of knowledge she's a pretty talented little hitting coach, and certainly Bloom's the offensive coordinator and vastly takes the lead there for us. But Haley's just general knowledge of the game is incredible, but she's also young and personable and relatable, and the girls enjoy her. But man, like, they know when they get on that field, let's talk about high level of expectation. She's a dog, and she's intense, and she coaches with that same intensity that she played with, like feisty and fiery, and had good international experience when she was done. And so that's what I love so much about Haley. Like, the game planning and the ability to fundamentally teach from the ground up is so excellent. But again, like, she's engaging and she's charismatic, and people gravitate toward her, right? So you get this really holistic person that the girls know cares about them, and they can go to and they can relate to, and she works so hard. Like, Haley's work ethic is excellent, and if they want to come out here and take balls at 2 a.m., she'd be like, all right, drag it out of bed, let's go.
That's good. I see her warm up. During the warm up pregame, I get fired up.
She's
I don't know what's going on over there,
Coach
but I'm
Decker
ready to go.
is locked in. Yeah.
Okay, and here I say, Coach Decker has a ton of intensity and enthusiasm, and it seems it's contagious, right? As your defense has that same type of identity. They seem to be pretty energetic, your defense.
Yes.
How have you seen this play out both on game days and practices, that intensity, that enthusiasm? Like, you've seen it, like...
Yeah, I mean, they continue to compete, get better, challenge one another. And same thing, just by nature of college athletics and like us reloading the program over the last couple years, just been a lot of pieces coming and going, which certainly it would probably be much easier to grow a 5-tooled shortstop and keep them here for 4 years. But when you're constantly, just having puzzle pieces come and go, and having to adapt systems to personnel, she's done a tremendous job with that, and the girls continue to roll with it, and they are going to play their butts off on defense. Yeah.
But she had a second baseman. Your second baseman still going to be the second baseman?
You know what? She's been playing a little bit of shortstop. She put on 10 pounds of muscle this summer. She's such a gifted defender. So wherever the most balls are going to go.
So it could be by what the stats say, the spray sheet from that team. Okay,
yeah. So she pops up at shortstop. I wouldn't be surprised. But she does such a tremendous job at second base. It's hard to move her, but we'll see. She'll be on the field somewhere.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. She has got a great bat.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And now you got some other bats in front of her or behind her. It's gonna make it.
She got one in a scrimmage yesterday to dead center, and I was like, oh, who's enjoying that 10 pounds of muscle now?
Yeah. Good.
I am, and she is.
Well, hey, that was a fun triple.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for your time. We're going to finish off with the bomb, and then we'll get you to practice. Coach Cignetti at Indiana University has this one play at a time philosophy. It's a philosophy that easily applies to softball. I mean, easy applies to anything, but definitely softball. You know, first play to the last play. Fast, physical, relentless, smart, disciplined, poised. One play at a time, 6 seconds of play. Every play has a life and a history of its own. It's like nothing. Not affected by success, not affected by failure. On to the next play. Never satisfied. Playing to a standard, not to the circumstances of the game. First you form your habits, and then your habits form you. Coach Cignetti. What's the message or the driving force that you're trying to implement or infuse into your team this 2026 season?
Well, I love every bit of that. And truly, if you could get enough kids to embody, right, what Coach Cignetti's done there, then special things are going to happen, like, you know, Indiana winning a national championship. Who thought they were going to be saying that even 5 years ago? So he's done such a tremendous job. I think where that starts with women, though, is whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. You know, that is truly, I think, of all the things what my time at Texas taught me, making these incredible postseason runs, all the, you know, chasing goals and chasing greatness, that starts with belief, right? Because if you don't believe you're capable, you don't even get to any of that, what's on the page with Coach Cignetti. And embody a lot of that because I think it's brilliant.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, it's been awesome having you on the show again. I wish you a ton of success, you and the team. Just knock it out of the park, please, for the fans here and just for your guys' sake. So thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, follow us on YouTube, Instagram, X, and sometimes TikTok. Javier with AZ in the Circle podcast.